Have you ever been told things like follow your passion or find your calling or something along those lines? Well, here's the problem with those statements. 56% of college grads have jobs completely unrelated to their major. Less than 20% of college students can actually identify what their passion is. And only 13% of workers actually feel engaged in the work they're doing. I've always struggled with these statements. And it turns out I'm not alone. According to Stanford professors who spend their entire lives studying life design, these questions don't motivate us, they actually paralyze us. And they say there are much better questions, much better ways to think about designing our lives than following our passion or finding our calling. Number one, reframing these dysfunctional questions. Number two, exploring the multiverse. And number three, creating mini life trials. So the Stanford team says these questions are dysfunctional questions because they take away our ability to function. And when people obsess over these questions, it creates something called a fixed mindset. And a fixed mindset is someone who's not really open to change, who they've decided on this one thing and by gosh darn it, they're gonna stick to it. One study showed that people who had the goal of finding their passion versus the goal of developing their passion were much more likely to lose motivation when they encountered any problems. So those people that this is what I'm gonna do, no matter what, I have to figure out this and go for it. Well, guess what? Life has problems. As opposed to the other people who said, you know, I want to do this thing, but maybe this will change. Maybe I will grow. Maybe I'll adapt to the different challenges and things that are thrown in my way, but that's okay. I want to develop myself, develop my passion. Only when I realized that what my passion in life is malleable or that it can change, did my life turn around. I realized, hey, being a doctor, specifically in the hospital, might not be what my actual passion is. Maybe my passion is to help people in a different way. And I realized in that moment when I decided to quit medicine, when I changed from a fixed to a growth mindset, that these next months to years aren't necessarily going to be about finding the specific thing which I want to do for the rest of my life, no matter what, but about actually trying out different things and me personally changing as I try out these things. And this is a constant process, an infinite game. Now, I've personally struggled with a fixed mindset. For the longest time, I thought the only path for me was to become a doctor. And when I actually started practicing as a doctor and I realized that, hey, this might not be the life for me, I hit a wall and I really, really struggled. And I think partially because I had such a fixed mindset that being a doctor was the only thing. And I was not only slow to adapt, right? But I felt really trapped. And I would have benefited so much by having a growth mindset, where I was open to life's changes and expected them, where I was more interested in the process than the result, where I was really in it to build a life that I love than to get to a life that I love. Change and challenge is inevitable. Like this morning, life threw the biggest curveball that I've ever experienced in my entire life. When I was flipping the omelet, part of it stuck to the plan. It didn't stick to the plan. It didn't stick to the plan. It stuck to the pan. And it ruined my life. But now I know, thanks to my growth mindset, that that's okay. Scrambled eggs aren't that bad. Okay, so how do we go about actually changing our lives and designing a life we want to live? Well, I want to propose something that I call the multiverse strategy. Now, in the book and on the TED Talk, they talk about this as the Odyssey plan or something like that, which we'll use. But essentially, my idea here is there's a multiverse of possibilities, right? If you don't know what a multiverse is, essentially we live in this universe, but maybe there's another universe that's similar to it or different to it. And it's not just one or two. There's infinite other universes where there's infinite us doing infinite other things. Kind of like Rick and Morty.
There she is. All right, come on, Morty, let's go.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, man, Rick. What is this place?
But instead of only just following this one path, this path that sometimes we feel like has been set for us, wouldn't it be nice to take out a portal gun and try out one of these other universes? Maybe in this other universe, humans have the ability to fly, or the Earth is just one big trampoline. I want to try and help you break away from the idea that this one life path that you're following is the only life path that's out there for you. And although it may seem like this is the only path because it takes up 95% of your thinking, it takes up 95% of your thinking because your time, actions, everything you do in life is 95% this thing. You've designed a life like I did when I was becoming a doctor without realizing it maybe that are 95% these things. 95% going to medical school, thinking how I'm gonna do well on tests, interacting with patients, right? I thought that was the only option in life because it was my life. So imagine 3 plans, plan A, plan B, and plan C. Plan A is life goes exactly along that plan perfectly well. What does that life look like in the next 5 years? Or do you have a promotion? Did you get that degree? Are you working at this company? Do you have this kind of family? Where does life go along this perfect plan A? Plan B is the current path disappears. Something happens, the school goes away, people can't be doctors anymore. Something happens where you can't follow this path. You're not allowed to follow this path anymore. What's the other thing you do? The side hustle, the side career, the thing that you always kinda thought about doing on the side in kind of a realistic way. And finally, there's plan C, which is the wild card, off the wall plan. And this is the thing that you maybe thought about once or twice in your entire life, or maybe you're thinking about it right now, where money and reputation do not matter at all. No matter what you do in this life, in 5 years, your reputation can't change and won't change, and your money can't change and won't change. You have enough money to live your life, but the only thing that matters is the enjoyment that you actually get out of the activity. Whatever you do in this plan C can't generate or take away money, and it can't generate or take away your reputation. And be as descriptive as you can. Again, I recommend taking out a piece of paper and going through plan A, plan B, plan C. For each of these plans, create a 6-word headline. Likability. Do you feel like hot, cold, or warm towards one of these plans? Coherence. Does this plan actually make sense to you? And finally, geography and misc things, like where would you live in this life? What would your hours look like on this life? What would the day-to-day activities look like in this life? Who would you be with in this life? For example, when I did this 2 years ago, my plan A was titled something like A Gastroenterologist, Poop is Life, right? So the title of the thing and then like a little catchy phrase for it. My plan B was YouTuber and author, solopreneurship. And my plan B was the backpacking nomad, walled-in life. So essentially it was being a gastroenterologist, a normal doctor. That was where I would be 5 years in the future of doing that thing. My plan B was that I'd be a YouTuber who write books and kind of create stuff on my own. And my plan C was I just have a backpack and go hike in the woods and explore the world and do stuff like that. Okay, but now that you have each of these plans, plan A, plan B, plan C, here's the exciting part. We're gonna take out our portal gun and we're actually gonna try living these life in small doses, micro doses.
Oh man, Rick! What is this place?
It's Dimension 35C.
So instead of quitting everything else and going all in on plan B or plan C, that's not realistic, right? We would need money, places, all these kind of things. So we wanna just try out these different life and mini life trials. So in each one of these different universes, in each one of these different plans that we've picked out, we really can explore them, I think, in 3 different levels. Level 1 is doing research on this place. Level 2 is having conversations with people in this place. And level 3 is experiences in this place. So level 1 is maybe what you already did in the first exercise. What is this career or life like? What is the pay like? What are the hours like? What would the job title look like? Or is it a location or a place in the world? This would be outlining as much as possible on a note sheet or a pad or whatever you take notes on, kind of what this life looks like. Level 2 is conversations, so 15-minute to 1-hour conversations with people who are already living this potential life that you would live 5 years in the future. So if your life is currently, for example, like it was mine, training to become a doctor, right? And say I was in medical school, maybe this conversation would be with a resident doctor or an attending physician in that certain specialty. And you might talk to them about kind of what do you do during the day? What's your life like? Do you enjoy it? Do you dislike it? Did you ever think about doing anything else? And I even did a podcast that's very, very like this, where I talked to a bunch of doctors and their specialties, because this is what I was trying to do, even without realizing it, seeing what these doctors in different specialties did in their lives.
From that moment until the patient is in the ICU, every single thing that you do is life-threatening. From the sternotomy to cannulation to putting in your graft, putting in your valve, closing the chest, drying up, everything is life-threatening. So the stakes are much, much higher.
And the great thing about the internet is you can probably reach out to someone or find them on LinkedIn or something like that, and most people will be more than willing to talk to you about what their life is. And then finally, you have experiences, right? So this might be shadowing someone for an hour, or shadowing them for a full day, or doing a day of volunteer work, or working there for a week or a month. Say you want to be a chef, right? And this is your plan B or something like that. Maybe you go on a night of service with them, or maybe it's a job, right? Tons of jobs offer internships, and I guarantee you, if this job doesn't offer it, you could make something like that exist by just saying, hey, listen, I'm interested in this job. I really don't know what it's like. Is it possible to shadow someone that works there for a day in this specific role? I just want to learn more about it. I'm not expecting anything in return. Maybe I could help you do X, Y, and Z. Okay, so that's the mini life trials. Can you do each one of those 3 steps for each one of these life plans? I mean, this is your entire life, right? Importantly, remember, when we're trying something new, this isn't necessarily the thing that our life is going to be. It's completely okay, and it's actually the whole point of this thing to talk to someone or research that thing or have an experience in that thing and say, you know what, I don't actually think I like that right now. I don't think I want to try that. That's okay. With a growth mindset, right? This is the whole point. Life is unpredictable. Our passions and our interests evolve. Failure isn't a bug, but a feature. My goal is to keep playing this, trying out my passion, developing my passion for the rest of my life. I want to play the infinite game of developing my passion. And my goal is to play more infinite games where there's no winners and there's no losers, there's no start point and there's no end point. You just keep playing. And this was introduced to me by James Curse's book, Finite and Infinite Games. But essentially he's saying there's all these things where there aren't no winners. There's no endpoint. For example, my relationship with my parents is an infinite game. I can't win at the relationship and I can't lose. So I just keep trying to improve it and I keep playing it. Reading is an infinite game. I can't win at reading because I can't read everything in existence, and I wouldn't want to read like that. My goal with reading is to experience and explore and learn from the amazing different writers and creators there are in the world. All right, so overall, according to these Stanford professors, most life advice is pretty backwards. It's important to realize that this common suggestion to follow your passion is misguided, and instead try to explore the multiverse, the different universes of possibilities when you follow different life paths. And when I first considered leaving medicine, I really thought, I was losing the finite game. I wasn't becoming a doctor. I wasn't completing my residency. I wasn't, saving lives anymore. And many people on the internet, right, said, yeah, Zach Hiley's an idiot. I can't believe he would do this. I can't believe he would take these steps and kind of lose the game. However, now that I've been outside of medicine, that I've been gone from medicine for over 6 months, I realized that it wasn't a finite game. This career, this life, all these kind of things, it's an infinite game, and so I can't lose. And my goal isn't to find the perfect path, right? I don't think anyone can find the perfect path. And if you think you're gonna find the perfect path, I think you'll be disappointed pretty quickly. My goal is really just to keep trying new things, to keep failing at new things, and then hopefully throughout that process, I'll start to develop kind of what I want my life to be. And importantly, it's not permanent, right? This thing might change over years or decades or even months. And just like there's a multiverse of possibilities and things you can do with your life, there's a multiverse of stuff you can learn with the most amazing newsletter in the world that this guy, Zach Hiley, writes every Tuesday. It's called the Tuesday Tune-Up. He has evidence-based information on getting healthier and wealthier and expanding your mind. It's pretty cool stuff. So yeah, I think I'll give you a link to subscribe to him. He's pretty cool guy, I think. But yeah, it's an email I send out every Tuesday to 5,000 plus readers, and it's usually in 4 minutes or less, just giving you some evidence-based info, how to improve your life. And to take a step back for a second from that amazing newsletter, great writer that guy is. I mean, who knows? But my goal is to keep trying new things, keep connecting with new people, keep failing. I'm not here to win. I'm here to play. But I'm not playing that Fortnite game. I really don't understand it. You build things and then you jump off things and then you destroy them. I'm not playing Fortnite. No streaming for me. No Fortniting. Nothing. But wow, we went from how we're gonna change our lives to Fortnite. I can't. I'm a YouTuber. I am now a YouTuber. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. And in a growth mindset, people are... You don't like the growth mindset? You don't feel like I should grow? I want to grow though. You don't think I should grow? You have the fixed mindset of your bone? Okay, take it away.